Valley Today.
New this morning, demonstrators took to the streets in Minneapolis to protest the death of an African-American man in police custody. George Floyd was pronounced dead shortly after he was arrested on Monday. The city dismissed 4 officers who were involved in the incident. The Minneapolis Police Commissioner has asked the FBI to join the investigation into Floyd's death. Let's get a check now of our First Alert Storm Team forecast. Right away here on this Wednesday morning, we check in with meteorologist Lisa Green, who's working from home. Good morning.
Good morning. We are looking at conditions that are clear, but at the same time, we've got some fog out there too to start off this morning. So it's kind of a pretty dreamy start to our day, but there are some places struggling with the fog a little bit, where it's getting more dense. Here in Fargo, it's not too bad, but you can see as we're looking toward downtown, there's that shallow layer that's hugging the surface there that we're seeing, and that could get worse before it gets a little bit better. So one area to watch out for here this morning is, of course, in that Fargo-Moorhead area, but where we have our dense fog advisory in effect is in the east. Bemidji, places like Park Rapids, Wadena, included in this advisory until 8 o'clock this morning, and beyond, where we've got some of our densest reports here. So here's a look at those visibility reports. We are low over to the east at a quarter-mile visibility in Park Rapids and Wadena. Bemidji's at a half-mile too, and it looks like central Minnesota really struggling quite a bit. And then the farther west you go, the better it gets. Fargo's at 3 miles right now, still lower, but not quite as dense as what we're seeing off to the east at this point in time. So this is our focus this morning to start off the day. Our temperatures are mild. We are in the 50s, 55 in Fargo, 52 in Grand Forks. And taking a look at your wind speeds, they're out of the south or southwest up to 10 miles per hour right now. So that combination of light wind, the moisture from yesterday's rain left over, and clear skies all combining to lead to that fog development in the east. The rest of us looking pretty quiet here to start off this morning, and we should stay that way today. Just a couple of green blips showing up on the map along the Canadian border there, but everywhere else we're looking pretty good. So here's your hour-by-hour planner. Through the morning hours, expect some mostly sunny skies, and temperatures on the rise today by lunchtime, back into the 70s and continuing that climb as we head into the afternoon. We'll see high temperatures reach 80 perhaps in Fargo. We'll see if we can get there today. Up in the Northern Valley, not quite as warm, but still nice. Looking at temperatures in the 70s and just enough breeze to maybe help cool you down a little bit out of that sunshine. Here's a look at your planner for tonight. Expect to see some pretty quiet weather up until the 10 o'clock hour. Now, heading into tomorrow morning, starting off similarly, we're going to see some quiet weather in the morning, though the wind will be picking up. There's going to be a storm system passing by mainly to the north. That'll bring about a couple of clouds and perhaps a sprinkle or two along the Canadian border, but that's about it. What it will bring is some cooler air, so we won't be nearly as warm on Thursday as compared to today, and Friday even cooler than that. So we take this dip for the rest of the week as we head into the weekend, but staying dry. Not until really Sunday and into next week do we see our chances for rain and thunder return, and warmer weather too coming up to start next week as well.
I'm liking it. Looks pretty nice. Thank you, Lisa. Fargo Fire and police are investigating the death of a person found dead in a house fire. The body was found yesterday afternoon at 1123 South University Drive. The call came in around 12:30 p.m. for smoke coming out from under the roof. Authorities have not yet released the name of the victim. Police have located a missing man who they say has a medical issue that can cause him to be disorientated. 64-year-old David Smith had been missing since about 5:30 p.m. He's staying with family in Moorhead, but is not familiar with the area. Police found Smith around 1 this morning. No other details are being released. A second suspect is now facing murder charges in connection with the drug deal gone wrong in North Fargo. 29-year-old Lee Fry Jr. was in court yesterday for the shooting death of Ann Quinn White near the North Fargo Hornbachers on May 12th. Rang Young is also charged with murder. Daryl Simmons is charged with conspiracy to commit robbery and conspiracy to deliver meth. In an exclusive interview, the uncle of a child who died in a Becker County house fire says the family needs all the help they can get. A weekend blaze near Detroit Lakes killed 2-year-old Micah Headland. Micah's father is out of the hospital now, but his mom, Missy, and 5-year-old sister are still being treated in the Twin Cities.
They couldn't get through the flame to get upstairs, so they went outside hollering for Mike and Missy, and I guess Mike jumped out the bedroom window and they all went in to try and find Micah at that time.
Missy's brother says the family is in desperate need of clothing. We have a full list of what the family needs on our website. You can find that at valleynewslive.com or by using our VNL News app. This Memorial Day weekend was the deadliest on Minnesota roads in 10 years. The State Department of Public Safety says 8 people died in 6 crashes over 3 days. The victims' ages ranged from 16 to 85 years old. One of the deadly crashes was alcohol-related. During the weekend, 292 drivers were arrested for DWI, down from 393 arrests in 2019. The U.S. has now recorded nearly 99,000 deaths from coronavirus out of almost 1.7 million confirmed cases. But while the fatality rate has slowed, the number of cases is still rising in at least 27 states. Despite that, more places are reopening their economies and resuming some level of normal activities. That now includes the city of New Rochelle in New York, once the site of the nation's first containment zone. Healthcare workers in Bemidji took to the picket lines to protest Sanford Health policies regarding housing during this COVID-19 pandemic. The Minnesota Nurses Association says it's because an RN tried making housing arrangements for workers who wanted to self-isolate, but that nurse got in trouble with management. The hospital says workers can arrange to stay at a hotel. That's an option the Nursing Association says is unaffordable for many. Sanford Health tells Valley News Live the Bemidji Hospital has not had one patient admitted to the hospital for COVID-19. They also say they haven't laid off any employees during this pandemic and even paid staff to cross-train in other areas. Minnesota is now reporting another 652 positive cases, bringing the active case count to 5,538. 18 new deaths were reported. 899 deaths have now been linked to the virus in the state. 570 Minnesotans are in the hospital with the virus, with 258 of those in the ICU. Meanwhile, North Dakota is reporting another 43 positive cases of COVID-19, bringing the active case count to 667. 40 North Dakotans are currently in the hospital. There were no new deaths reported today, keeping the death toll linked to the virus at 54. The city of Fargo is hosting a Red River Valley COVID-19 task force briefing a little later this morning, and we will be streaming it for you. It starts at 11 this morning and will feature updates on work conducted by members of the task force. We'll be streaming that on our website, valleynewslive.com, and also on our VNL News app. Fargo parents are smiling after the district's change of heart on graduation ceremonies. How many people will be allowed in is just ahead here on the Valley Today.